First of all, thank you to everyone who's joined. The session's being recorded, and also for people who are here and for anyone that obviously wants to watch the session afterwards. My name's Ryan Bale. Welcome to the first in our series of Champions of Safety stories from golf clubs using Obbi Golf. I'm Senior Sales Manager, Obbi Golf, and in this interview, we are going to be speaking with Lucan Golf Club General Manager, Pat Barrett, and Operations Manager, Jordan O'Brien, about their experiences of using Obbi Golf's safety, compliance, and training software. For anyone who's not aware, Obbi Golf integrates all departments within a golf club to help streamline compliance processes and increase efficiency. Many clubs aren't sure where to start, so we provide our safety starter pack with best practice hazard awareness, safe operating procedures, policies, workplace tasks, and checks, all built into the system tailored to each department. We have a bottom-up approach that puts ownership back on employees, ensuring that everyone is accountable for safety and compliance, which is imperative for bolstering safety workplace culture. Obbi Golf is trusted and endorsed by the insurance industry and stakeholders in safety, providing clubs with credibility and assurance that they are in good hands. It provides golf clubs with the ability to make data-driven decisions and actionable real-time insights through one centralized system. So let's dive in and hear from Pat about Lucan Golf Club and how they've become a champion of safety by using Obbi Golf software. Now, obviously, Pat, you and I have known each other for many years. We've worked with many softwares. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came to be General Manager of Lucan Golf Club?
All right. Hello, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, Pat Barrett is my name, General Manager, Lucan Golf Club. I also act as the Honorary Secretary of the Club Managers Association of Ireland. Unlike Ryan, I don't have a script in front of me on my other screen to read off, so everything is coming from my head, which is really dangerous for Ryan. But I'm in the golf industry, managing probably 7 or 8 years now. Came from commercial golf through the ranks of different private equity clubs. Bounced around quite a bit. Landed in Lucan Golf Club about 18 months ago now. I've done all my my education through CMAE. I'm aspiring to get my CCM through in the next couple of weeks, so that'll be a good one. And yeah, I've known Ryan for a number of years, obviously through various software companies that he worked with previously. We get on really well, and I was delighted to first hear about Obbi Golf when I was in Musgrave in Cork, when Ryan and Garrett visited us, and I was anxious to take it on there. And then when I left there and came to Lucan, I had no problems reaching out to the lads to have a look at it for Lucan Golf Club, and we're delighted to have it onboarded, and it's working well for us here.
Fantastic, Pat. In terms of Lucan Golf Club, what sort of size of a club, what sort of membership do you have? What's the history and the background of Lucan Golf Club?
So we are a private equity club situated just on the outskirts of Dublin, on the just off the M7. We have in excess of 1,000 members. It's a full playing members golf club, 18 holes, limited practice facilities. They're kind of all over the place here. They're bits and pieces. Good bar, social club. It's a good working man's club. Good solid club. As I say, high playing membership, so very, very little green fees and societies. We don't have much room for it because there's competitions 8 days a week. So yeah, that's what we are. We're 125 years old last year. Celebrated that last year, and yeah, we're just trying to move forward now.
How long have you been using Obbi Golf now, Pat, and sort of how have you found just the experience overall so far?
So we probably got Obbi Golf in 8 or 9 months ago. I'd imagine that we first took the decision. We looked at it. We looked at it through our finance committee. We looked at it through our governance council, and it was just something that we felt would be beneficial to us and how we manage our health and safety documentation, number one, and then obviously the other aspects that in relation to staff training, holding their staff records, and the fact that as it says, it's Obbi Golf, the obligation is on the staff member to look after their own systems, and they have their own logins and all that sort of stuff was really good for us. We have Jordan, who's with us here, and he'll speak in a few minutes, as our operations manager in the club. And he has taken on the Obbi Golf project for us here in dealing with the staff and getting the staff the mindset into. For me, it was probably the hardest thing for us to do, is to get the staff to change over and get the mindset into, this is what we want to do. Nobody likes change and all that sort of stuff. And it was trying to sit down with them. But once they started using it, they found it very user friendly, easy to deal with. It was just an easy system to do. I have to say that the onboarding system from you guys was really good. The customer service in the back end was always there. The girls in the office that do the training with us on a regular basis, there's always regular catch-ups. There's always the odd email coming in from the office to say, are you okay with everything? All your back end policies and procedures, that the database of policies and procedures that you have that we could take and then tailor for us, really took a lot of time out of our paperwork, trying to find paperwork to put it up on a system. And then the fact that it's there at our fingertips now. If we have a fire inspection tomorrow morning, I don't have to go through yards and yards of paper to try and find different certs or different documentation. It is all there on the system for me at a touch of a button, so everything can be done very, very quickly.
Rick, thank you for those kind words. We appreciate it, and we're very grateful that Lucan are a customer and enjoying the system. Have you noticed any significant changes in your safety and compliance practices since implementing the system, as opposed to what you were doing beforehand?
Well, I leave that to Jordan because he deals with it from an operations point of view. So if you want to kick in, Jordan.
Hey guys. Yeah, Ryan, I mean, the one of the big changes kind of straight away, once we started implementing Obbi Golf, was just kind of, how kind of, I suppose, once the staff kind of saw how easy Obbi Golf was to use, and kind of how user friendly it was, they actually were a lot more forthcoming with, actually we could add this on, or actually, the stairwell around the back or whatever it is, maybe we could work on, or maybe just, they were kind of a lot more forthcoming with kind of stuff that could be added on. Once I saw how kind of good Obbi was in that regard, and kind of all the information it had. So yeah, that was kind of one of the main significant kind of changes I noticed straight away, was just, the kind of constant feedback, which was always good, positive and negative, which is always good for, I suppose you never learn necessarily all the time off positive feedback. You always want a bit of both. But yeah, no, it was really good so far, yeah, with the staff.
Excellent. And in terms of an example of maybe where Obbi Golf has helped prevent a potential safety or compliance issue, would you have anything that stands out, anything that maybe has happened in the past and where that gap has been plugged now?
Yeah, well, one of the main things was that we actually had a health and safety officer come in recently enough for like a surprise visit. Obviously we had the necessary like documentation and stuff, but then I brought him over to the computer and I was like, oh, we have Obbi, and he was like, what's Obbi? And I was kind of laying out to him, showed him like all the documents, how easy it was to use, that the staff were able to kind of self-train, all the courses that were already kind of preloaded and ones that we'd already kind of worked with Obbi to put on. Shout out to Louise for helping me with all that. So yeah, like he was blown away. Like he hadn't seen anything like that before, and was kind of like, I haven't seen a golf club with anything like this before. So yeah, no, it was credit to yourselves, but it was yeah, no, it was that was kind of one of the main things he kind of said, like that saved our bacon a little bit, that we had something kind of as good as Obbi. I suppose a few little other instances. We haven't had any accidents anyway since Obbi, which is only a good thing because of you guys. But we did have a couple of instances, I suppose, where some more kind of heads of department kind of say like, oh, it's great that you have, like we have in our excuse me, in our Obbi Golf, we have kind of like a whole section for staff like induction. So we have we have a load of videos and stuff that staff can constantly tap into for like the type of fire extinguishers, like fire emergencies and all that kind of thing, all the kind of like manual handling, all that kind of thing. But a few of the heads of department are kind of saying how great it was that geez, like when we get part-time staff in the summer, they don't necessarily know about like what type of fire extinguisher to use. Do you do foam, do you use water, like whatever it is. But like that was another kind of good thing that you could show them. And then I've been showing them as well, but excuse me. But yeah, they're the couple of ones that stand out anyway.
Perfect. Thank you for that. In terms of Obbi Golf, how do you feel it's maybe saved you time and money at the club since its implementation?
I mean, like I suppose it's definitely saved. I suppose everyone here working in management or operations or in offices definitely saves you a lot of time, kind of trying to get in speakers and like presentations and stuff like that to kind of, and manual handling courses and all that kind of thing. More physical health and safety, obviously manual handling and stuff is stuff you're gonna have to do. But no, yeah, it has saved us a lot of time that as you touched upon, Ryan, already, and Pat, that it puts the safety on the onus of the staff, that it's in their hands and they can do it kind of in their own time. They can do it as much as they want. And then it's so kind of user friendly and easy to use that it's it saved us a lot of time in that regard.
Yeah, it also takes. So sorry, Ryan. It from a GM point of view, like we have so much to do in a golf club. Like we are the masters of every department, and to have health and safety will only ever come up and bite you when it bites you. Like it's always going to be there. It's not something that you're going to be looking at every single week. But once you have an accident or once you have an issue, then all hell breaks loose with health and safety. And for me, to have the peace of mind that this is in the background, genuinely, and not just saying it because, like, I'm not a sales guy. I don't get any money from Obbi Golf. If it was crap, I wouldn't be using it. But for me, as a GM, to know that that is there in the background, that if we have an issue and we're covered, that if we go up the steps of a court and we're being sued or whatever the case may be, we're completely and utterly covered from a legal standpoint for health and safety. That peace of mind is worth a fortune as a general manager, because we've so much other things to do. We've other projects and other things to do in the golf club. And I would say that if anybody is taking in Obbi Golf as a GM, like obviously you're going to know it, you're going to have to use it, but having somebody like Jordan is priceless as well. To have someone as he's our champion for Obbi in the club, and he does it through talking to all the staff members and having a conversation. I see a question there from Mark in relation to resistance from members. Yeah, I've had resistance. The most common resistance, Mark, was from our facilities guy, and the guy that you think would be the one guy that would use it, but more so only because he's not really, I say this, like he's not really computer literate, or he's afraid of computers. So all we did with him was we just set him down 1-to-1 and we just went through it and we put it on his phone and we talked him through it and we told him he had nothing to worry about, and then he wasn't scared. So all we did with him was instead of doing it in a group session with him, we took him away 1-to-1. We don't have resistance from any staff members now, none at all. So, but all that is all good then, because all the onus is on them, and it saves us a bucket of time in the office.
It is interesting because, and it's a very good question for Mark. It is one that we do get asked a lot in terms of staff, because you can't be sure that every staff member is going to just put their hands up and say, yes, I want to use this. So in terms of, I'm going to ask Mark's second question here before I move on to the rest of my questions. In terms of lead time to get everything running, Jordan, what did you feel that the lead time was to sort of get the system built, put into place, and sort of live with the staff?
I suppose I think maybe it took us maybe about a month, but I think it could probably be less, depending on because obvious kind of you can, I suppose, tailor it to kind of your specific clubhouse, your specific club's needs. For us, I kind of went through each head of department in depth about what we had, what they specifically wanted to see on it, and then the necessary ones. So for us, it maybe took about a month, but I think it could be definitely less. But I kind of just wanted to be very, very in depth and thorough about what each head of department wanted on it, and kind of like what they felt was, like I suppose ones that were already preloaded and on it, courses and stuff like that, but ones that they felt maybe weren't on it that could be added in. Again, then Obbi are very facilitating and great for that. They can make up custom kind of courses and training as well, and not just the templated ones as well, which was great. So yeah, it was about a month, but it could be less, definitely, depending on the size of your club.
And in terms of actually using the system and navigating your way around it, Jordan, have you found, and you're someone at the back end who's using it quite heavily, we obviously have the back end and somebody like yourself taking it on, and we've got the front end where staff just has a very simple way of managing. From the back end, have you found the system easy to navigate yourself? Did you find that you skilled yourself up on it quickly? Did you find it difficult in any way?
Yeah, I mean, like, not particularly. I mean, I suppose I would be kind of a techie guy anyway, but even if you weren't kind of very kind of techie or tech illiterate, I think it is fairly simple. It is kind of laid out very, very clean, and kind of all the main things are there. Just kind of your home, your team reports. It kind of puts everything in a nice pie chart. You can kind of see pretty clearly kind of what's being done, what isn't being done, by who and what. reports or kind of accidents and incidents where you can just fill out your forms and then training. And then the new implementation of an actual user guide, because before I had to kind of go along and one by one, I was printing out things in folders, but one by one kind of showing everyone in like private little kind of trainings how to kind of use Obbi and stuff. But now they have all, you guys have all that as your own user guide on it, which is really easy as well. Saves me a lot of time anyway. Going around one by one showing everyone. So but yeah, no, very, very easy to use and very user friendly. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Pat, I've got a question for you in terms of meetings with the committee and the board since you've been using Obbi. Have the committee seen the benefit of the system since it's been in? And, you know, do your committee ask for regular health and safety updates?
Yeah, so we have a health and safety officer on our council, and he is aware that we use Obbi Golf. Again, it comes down, we haven't had an incident, Ryan, so that it doesn't come up. There's a report given to council every month on health and safety, and it's no incidents or whatever the case may be. So council really aren't aware, and that's a good sign. It's like if they were asking questions about it and saying where was it here or where was it there, that would be a bad sign. It's in the background, and that's why you can't really quantify that. But the health and safety officer, who is a member, is working with Obbi Golf and is understanding of it and appreciates what we do for it. Now we do use Colin McGlynn as well as a health and safety consultant. Like, Obbi Golf isn't going to take care of your health and safety. Obbi Golf is a tool to help you manage your health and safety. Like that's a key thing. So you're not going to get away without doing your risk assessments or whatever, but all those risk assessments then can be stored in Obbi. So it is a document storage software for us.
Perfect. And in your opinion, how has Obbi Golf positioned Lucan Golf Club as a leader within safety and compliance? Do you feel that you've been somewhat of a pioneer by taking on a software like this?
Yeah, we're covered. Like, and it's something, again, that you'll only really appreciate it when you have to use it fully. But we're covered, and I'm happy to know that we're covered. And if we have any health and safety issues or any health and safety problems, that we are covered and we have all the bases covered.
Excellent. And what would you say to clubs that maybe aren't using Obbi at the minute? What would you say to them in terms of your experience and what they could achieve? Again,
it's about, I use the fire officer. We all have fire checks on like every year, and it's about getting that email in from the fire officer to say that I'm coming next week or whenever the case may be, and then it's the scramble for certs and are they in date or on any of that, and we have it at a touch of a button now. And furthermore is that we have an alert to say that this cert is coming up for renewal, or this safety is coming up, or this training session is out of date, or we have all those alerts, and so we're being alerted to that rather than waiting for the week before the fire officer comes and then scrambling to try and get it all done in the week, which is going to take up a week's work to try and get it done. For an inspection, it's going to take a day. Now it's a touch of a button. You can get on with your week and you're not worried about the officer coming in for the inspection.
Yeah, and I think that's vital. It's certainly, again, one of the conversations that we've had with clubs a lot. It's not to say that there are clubs out there that don't have good content in their files and folders, but how quickly can you pull that information if you really need it? So you've seen obviously a massive speed
Absolutely.
up.
Yeah.
Excellent. And in terms of Lucan Golf Club, what is coming up from Lucan Golf Club? Have you got any big events coming up? Anything major happening?
Look, it's like every other golf club in the country now. We're only waiting for a bit of fine weather, Ryan, and trying to get people on the golf course. We have our open week next week, which is a really good fun week. Starts the year for us. We have our pro-am on the 19th of May, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a good day for us to really get the season off to a flyer. We made an investment of just over €1 million on 3 new golf holes last year that were open last year. So kind of open for the first time, maybe September last year. So it'll be the first real summer that we'll get to use the new holes. So that'll be quite good. So we're doing a little press release on that in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. We've got a really, really serious golf writer writing a press release for us that's going to do a phenomenal job. Isn't that right, Mark Harwood? So just a little bit of inside information. Mark's better half is writing our press release for us because she does that for a living. So if you're looking for any press releases, hook up Mark Harwood's.
We're looking forward to taking part in the Pro-Am and seeing the course and all. Just before we wrap it up, is there any other questions that anyone would like to put in the chat? Great opportunity to ask Jordan and Pat about the system. I mean, it's all well and good hearing it from myself and Gareth and Catherine. Obviously, we're here at Obbi, but to hear it from people who are actually using it. If there are any questions, feel free to put them in the chat now or unmute yourself and ask away.
It's not really a question, Ryan. It's just more like I've had 3 or 4 demos. Ryan's been very kind to bring me through this in 2 different locations, and I'm bringing the line managers through. But I think the one thing, and I know Pat definitely feels this, because I've spoken to him about it, and I know Niall does as well. The moral responsibility that you have to members and staff as well, and that's why I put the question in there in terms of checklists, is that you cannot think, when your headspace goes into health and safety, it gets lost, and it goes into a very dark and eerie place. But in truth, you know, we have a multifaceted business, and the security issues that you cannot think of, and if you do think about it, you're not wired properly all of the time. But if by chance somebody does have an accident, and you haven't spent the time and energy, and you know it's just because you are a busy manager. Well, I know for a fact, me personally, the type of person that I am, and the managers and staff that are on here and who I've worked with currently and in the past, that's not something that we would feel comfortable with. And we know the busy environments that we work in. So for a golf club, I think it is more important probably than many other industries as being a single faceted industry where you can, you know, you're rigid. And I'm an accountant, and I like process and procedure and structure, but that doesn't exist, unfortunately, within this industry. So I think that this is tailored to a perfect industry. No other industry that I'm aware of needs this as much as our industry does. Especially, as we know, we've got all of our bosses, every single member is one of our bosses as well. So you've got all of the subject matter experts externally, and you've got to look after their needs as well as best you possibly can.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree with everything you said there. And I would, like, I have no issue. Like when Ryan reached out and asked, would we do this? I had no hesitation in saying yes. I have no hesitation in speaking to managers on the phone when they're asking me questions about Obbi Golf, and it's easy to tell them the truth. It's a system that every golf club should have. It's as simple as that.
I mean, that means a lot to us. I think we would all agree. Everyone on the call that works for Obbi, that really does mean a lot to us. And I think, I mean, even as recently as yesterday, we had one of our customers say, look, I've even put my reminder for my PAT testing for appliances on the system. So, you know, we have flexibility within the system that people can remind of us, because you have a lot to juggle as a general manager. And
but more yeah, and on that as well, like we're going to use it for ourselves here, because the system is individual, and each member of staff has their own individual logins, and their own training certs are private to them. We're actually going to use it as a kind of a half a HR suite, where we're going to log their contracts, their employee handbooks, all that sort of jazz as well. So it's going to be their own personal Lucan Golf Club portal, if you like, that we're going to have everything on it. So yeah, that's what we're going to use for as well. So
that's fantastic to hear. It's a great idea as well. If there are no more questions, we could wrap it up. First of all, I would like to say a massive thank you on behalf of Obbi Golf to Pat and Jordan for taking part in this. I know you're very busy, and I know, Jordan, you're not feeling too well today, for coming in and doing this. It means a lot to hear from customers. We want to hear the positive, we want to hear the negative, we want to hear it all. Thank you also to the members who have joined here today as well, for taking the time out, and hopefully you found it useful. If there's nothing else from anyone else, we can wrap it up.
No, I'm good.
Thanks,
Pat,
Ryan.
Jordan.
Thanks a million.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
Okay. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Goodbye.
See you guys. Thanks.